Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. I hope you had a great weekend. Only thing about weekends, guys, no matter how old they get, it hasn't changed. They all go by way too fast. So, guys, what I wanted to talk about this morning, I thought we could have a good discussion on, is the national debt. Guys, the national debt right now is somewhere in the neighborhood north of what, $30 trillion. And it is just so mind boggling that it's absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. And we've gotten so used to them throwing out a trillion here, a trillion there, this, that, or whatever, that we're completely desensitized to what $1 trillion is. I was reading an article, and this guy gave a really great illustration of how big $1 trillion is. And he was pointing out that if you earned $1 a second, it would take you probably 11 days to earn $1 million. Well, at that same rate of $1 a second, it would take you over 31 years to earn $1 billion. At $1 a second to earn $1 trillion would take 30 plus thousand years to earn. And I thought, wow, that is a great way of kind of wrapping your brain around it. Now, guys, when it comes to the national debt, the U.S. didn't hit its first $1 trillion until somewhere around the 1980s, the early 1980s, like 1981 or 2 or something like that. And it has just skyrocketed from there. And since COVID, guys, we literally have doubled the national debt. Something that took over 220 plus years to get to has been doubled since COVID. And in the last 6 months, we have added more, like trillions of dollars to the national debt. Guys, this has gone spiraled so out of control that at this point, that if the Federal Reserve was to truly combat inflation, which, by the way, guys, with the real CPI and real inflation, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 40+%. It is ridiculously high. And it's a no-win situation for them because the reality is, if they were to raise inflation to what it needs to be to raise interest to what it needs to be to combat inflation, it would bankrupt the United States. More money would be spent on the payment of the interest towards the national debt than on any other thing, including defense and Social Security, all of it. And they know it. So, guys, ask yourself this. If they can't raise interest rates to combat inflation, then where's this going? Well, guys, it's going to the collapse of this fiat system, absolute collapse of it. And they know that. And they have no other option. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to blame all this on, it's a monetary war. And, you got the BRICS countries doing this, and that's why, and on, which is a bunch of baloney. The reason why we're in this fix is because they have been spending money like it's going out of style and printing it like no tomorrow. And they're continuing, guys, to do it. I mean, I've said this before. You've heard me say it before. You got the European Central Bank buying bonds like no tomorrow, and the U.S. Federal Reserve is following suit. That's why you're seeing a pump up in these markets, because they're pushing cash, buying debt. They're pushing cash into risk on assets. Don't kid yourself. This is a dog and pony show. Now, guys, what's more than likely going to end up happening here is that we're going to wind down in a relatively short order. I mean, can you even imagine? It's like you're in a train and it's rushing full speed towards a brick wall, a mountain, and there is no getting off the train and there is no stopping it. Your only option is to hopefully flip a switch and get us onto a new track, which is exactly, guys, what's coming. They are going to be putting us on a new system. And guys, this is going to be the greatest wealth transfer in history. And you are going to see these central banks get so ridiculously wealthy through this transition that it is going to be the rape of the average citizen financially. It is insane. And guys, that's why people like Klaus Schwab and such can turn around and say, oh, by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. Well, if you own nothing, that means they own it all. Believe it. So what can we do, guys? Well, number one, we got to transition away from this fiat system ourselves. That's why getting into blockchain like we have, and especially ISO 222, very vitally important. Another thing is getting out of debt. Get off that system as fast as you possibly can. Buy real world assets, gold, silver, real estate, things like that, and be in a position where you are not a victim of what's coming. And guys, if you're not taking my word for it, I really, really encourage you. Go do your own research on what we're talking about this morning and see for yourself. Now, guys, I want to hear what you think of it. So make your comments down below and let's have a discussion about what do you see? Do you really believe that we're going to a reset and a collapse of this current system? Or do you think that we're just going to escape by this time? I want to hear what you have to say. So guys, I will see you later on this this afternoon with our regularly released video, and look forward to it. And until then, have a great one.